My guest today is Pauline Markwell from the Royal Botanic Gardens Foundation. The foundation raises much needed funds to keep one of Sydney's best loved attractions beautiful and to provide a rich experience to Australians and to our visitors. Pauline, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Suzi.
Tell me a little bit about your role at the foundation.
My role's focused on fundraising, but it takes me into lots of different areas. The Botanic Gardens is a very special place, as you've said, and it has its bicentenary coming up in 2016. So we have a very active fundraising program. We're looking to raise $84 million.
Wow.
Help of government, roughly about half, but individual private donors and benefactors, as well as the community and corporates as well. So it's very, very broad. But my role really gets me involved with our 3 botanic gardens, the Royal Botanic Gardens here in the city, Mount Tomar up in the Blue Mountains, and Mount Adam Botanic Gardens in Campbelltown, Camden. So I'm involved with the staff in all the different areas, the conservation, science, education, the recreational events area. So it's a very, very interesting role. I feel I'm very lucky to be there.
And very busy by the sound of it.
Very busy indeed, yes.
So as an organisation, well, the Botanic Gardens is probably not a visitor to our country, to Sydney anyway, that doesn't get to enjoy the splendour of it. As an organisation, what considerations do you have that perhaps other organisations would never have to think about?
I think there are quite a few. Firstly, the Botanic Gardens themselves is an entity, a trust, but it's under the state government, and it actually creates quite a few illusions that the Botanic Gardens is fully funded, where in fact it's only 55% funded and it needs to create its own revenue for day-to-day operating. But the role of the foundation and what I'm doing is actually to make new initiatives way on top of that wouldn't be possible otherwise. So it's a very big opportunity for us. Profit, of course, is not the motive, being in the Botanic Gardens. The staff there are incredibly passionate about what they do, plants in one way or another, or education. So it's a very special kind of environment. And we're always balancing between appearing to be very needy and being needy, but at the same time, in what we're doing, we have to do things with absolute style and do things very, very appropriately in the fundraising area, because the people we're looking to gain support from are people who were used to being feted really, really well, by other cultural institutions, or getting maybe a range of different benefits from other charities that they might be supporting. So we've got a very different offering there, but different set of challenges that we have to balance as well.
And a number of different stakeholders, quite a diverse
We've got
group.
Very broad range of stakeholders, and so any of the work that we do is really looking at all those different target markets. And so we're much broader than most, because the work that we do is actually a lot broader than people normally realise. So it's government, it's tourists, it's people who are serious about plants in one way or another, people wanting information, people coming for recreational purposes, school classes, tertiary institutions. A lot of our scientists have academic roles in tertiary institutions. So a very broad range of stakeholders, as you say.
Let me ask you about you personally and your career, because you've been in marketing, you've been in executive search, you've been in many management and leadership positions. What skills and experience do you pull from the past to make you be at your very best in this role?
I think it's actually really interesting, because all those different parts of my life actually really contribute to the skills that I have here. Very much marketing is a very significant thing. It's looking at all those different target markets, looking at the people we want to talk to, we're looking to support. With the Bicentenary campaign, it's communicating the whole Bicentenary program and the very big flagship projects that we're fundraising for, so it's very much a communications role there. On the executive search, of course, I had huge contacts in industry, different companies, lots and lots of people. Well, in fundraising, and particularly the major donor fundraising, which is the particular area the foundation's focused on, we need to engage and cultivate lots and lots of people. So networks, people I know, people I might know who know people, all of that, that executive search experience is very, very useful. And of course, in executive search, one has to do a lot of research to find people for clients, the companies that one is working for. That's virtually the same here in terms of trying to identify people who might support the Botanic Gardens. So we're looking for people who've got an interest in plants, whether it's in conservation or botany, people who are interested in education. It's often very much the arts. We have a lot of sculpture and sculptural programs, people who would like to support that. So that research basis is very, very appropriate as well. So I find all the different things that I've done over the years actually give me different skills that help me do my current job today.
And in reading your background, it was illuminating to me that really sometimes we don't know, as we're doing one job today, how that is going to benefit us into the future, but that your bag of tricks, if you like, is so broad and diverse because of these different roles that you've had over the years. There's another role I want to talk about, and that is that of being a board member. And you've sat on both private boards and not-for-profit boards.
Yes.
What do we as women need to do to be board ready? Because I want to see more women on boards. So what would you recommend?
I think there's a range of things, but the things perhaps I'd particularly talk about, technical skills and people skills, and also then intuition. Clearly, to be a good board member, one has to have very good technical skills. So the majority of people have got a particular area where their expertise is strong, but they might have worked across different areas, which gives them a broader base in that sense. But very, very good technical skills is, I think, are just a basic. People skills, though, are incredibly important because it doesn't matter what role we do, we're involved with other people. It might be people as clients, it might be people as customers, it might be staff that we're managing. So to be able to communicate with people, relate to people, delegate up, delegate down, people skills are really important, and I think that we can't underrate that. Mostly people feel that doing the job's the easy part. Is the people that's not the easy part. And so an ability to work with people, to manage people, to communicate, to be concise, to be clear, to motivate, I think is very important. The other side is also intuition. Now, it's not necessarily a skill per se, but very often we have intuition about something we should do, shouldn't do, should say, shouldn't say. And I think that we should always listen to our intuition. Women tend to be fairly capable in this particular area. It might be about asking questions, probing further, whether something should happen. So I think that those are the three areas that I would suggest for women to concentrate on.
In 2003, you were awarded the Centenary Award for the contribution you've made in the area of business leadership. So from that perspective, what advice would you give those of us looking to become better leaders?
I think having strong vision is really, really important for a good leader. So vision can be about the organisation, it can be about the industry, it can be operational, but then to be able to articulate that vision, to explain it so other people come aboard the vision, and then not be afraid to go for it. So to be visionary is something that a lot of people aren't, but when people do have vision, it's very easy to rally people behind, get them excited, motivated, and really come into it very well. It's important, I think, also to be very clear about your ethics. The world is a very complicated world today. There are a lot of different situations that can put us in compromising positions, and I think to be a good leader is to be clear in oneself about what the ethics are that each of us wants to live by, and then to live by those ethics. Sometimes that can put us in an uncomfortable position, but if we're true to our ethics and true to what we believe is the proper way to go, then we can all, I think, sleep with ourselves, but do a good job and be respected for the job we do. And I suppose the other thing I think in terms of being a good leader, it comes back to this issue about people and being able to relate to people, communicate, to motivate, and to really lead a team. And I think that, the big leaders of the world have all been able to inspire people to really, let them see the vision, and they can communicate what they want to do and bring people behind them.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank
Thank you, Suzi.